r/AskReddit. What's the strangest punishment your parents ever gave you? For some reason my parents allowed my brother and I to have a very basic bow and arrow which we were allowed to shoot at a cardboard box in the backyard. I, being very young and very dumb, crawled into the box while my brother was firing. Parents were not pleased, and to demonstrate how dangerous what I had done was, they made me lay on the couch for the whole day and pretend I was in a hospital bed. If I cursed, my mom would make me go into the bathroom and say every curse I knew while looking in the mirror so I could see how ugly I made myself look while cursing. Well, I learned that if I wanted to curse with impunity, all I had to do was say ass and get sent to the bathroom where I could say any curse I could think of, punishment free, for as long as I wanted, lol. I would get grounded to the front porch because when I was grounded in my room I would entertain myself with literally anything, even lint from the carpet. So my dad finally had enough and made me sit on the front porch, and I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone except to say that I am grounded and can't talk. Not really a strange punishment, but it turned out strangely, I think. When I was probably 5 or 6, something happened. Literally can't remember what I did to deserve the punishment that caused my parents to send me to my room with no lights allowed on and the door closed. I'd never been able to sleep with the door closed and at least a light on in the hall or something till then. This time, I just went to sleep after a while in there with no lights, and that was the last time I needed lights on or the door open when I went to bed. Worked out well from my point of view, emo. Whenever I would swear, my parents would force me to smell dog breath. Because if we have to deal with the filth from your mouth, then you have to deal with the filth from its mouth. I got this on numerous occasions. It sounds silly at first, but it was anything but at the time. I begged them to give me anything but that. My father said it was a punishment that his father had made him do once upon a time. We had a large bottle, a 10-gallon jug, full of loose change. He made me dump it out, gather the pennies, and fill up some tennis balls. It wasn't a bad punishment, just odd. I preferred it over any other punishment I could have been handed. My mom was pretty old school, so she wasn't against spanking, which was my usual punishment. Strangest was when I made fun of my sister for wetting the bed, calling her a baby and stuff. My mom wasn't happy because I was making her cry and setting her back. So as a punishment she made me wear a pull-up whenever my sister had to. My parents said I was playing too much Skyrim when it came out, so they took the router with them to work every day. Good thing you don't need internet to play an offline single player game. LMAO, my parents definitely did not understand technology and they'd do stuff like this but even less effective. Like they'd turn the screen off and assume that meant the entire machine was shut down and everything was lost. Or like everything was plugged into a power strip, so they'd take the power strip away but all the plugs and outlets were still right there. So one time my mom kept holding the off button down, but I was sitting there on the screen with the mouse and keyboard and a window would pop up asking whether I actually wanted to turn the computer off. So I just kept clicking no, leave the computer on. She could not for the life of her understand why it didn't work. The buck rag. Still have nightmares. For those who don't know, a buck rag is a rag that's been rubbed all over a sweaty, oily, piss-soaked billy goat in rut, and is often used for goat breeding purposes. In our Alabama town, it became popular for parents to use these to punish children. Goat farmers would even sell the rags for the purpose. Basically, the teenager would be taken outside, and the parents would remove the buck rag from the jar, drape it over the kid's face, and tie a knot in the back. Plenty of room to breathe, no room to avoid the smell. I never saw why everyone feared it so much until my parents gave it to me one night for sneaking around with my boyfriend at night. I puked a lot. This is like redneck waterboarding. My father would unplug a certain plug from the router, lock the closet it was in with a padlock and chains, and take the keys to work with him every day. Funnily enough, the chains weren't tight enough and the router wasn't deep in the closet at all, so pulling the closet with force gave just enough room for my hand to sneak in and pull the cable back in. I pissed off my mom one day and as punishment she stormed into my room and took the power cord from my computer. I hadn't played on the computer in like 1 year. It wasn't connected to the internet and only had The Sims on it. She was so pissed and ripped the cord so hard it moved my desk away from the wall, and I didn't even care. Not a very well thought out punishment. I got a bad grade on a math test in elementary school. As my dad dropped me off for the day, I quickly told him he needed to sign something, the test. He was so furious that even though I was already late for school, he drove the 2 miles back home, spanked me and made me walk to school. I was so late.
Thank you so much for watching until the end. It would mean a lot to me if you would like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.